Hello everyone, it's Melinda here with CatSmashPuzzles, and as you can see behind me, I'm not in my normal studio. I'm actually on a cruise ship in the Mediterranean Sea. I'm currently on Norwegian's Viva, and we're doing a 10-day cruise from Rome to Lisbon, Portugal. And we are currently docked at Motril, Spain, and so this is kind of our relaxing day, and I figured this would be a perfect day for me to do my puzzle with y'all. So now, real quick, what we kind of did on our itinerary, we started off in Rome, and so we had a couple of days there. We went to all the must-sees, went to the Colosseum, we saw all the other different sites. You know, we had great food there. I had great spaghetti, like the fresh noodles, and it was just a great time. So once we had our day and a half in Spain, we got on the boat, and then we went to Naples, and then we went up to Florence and Pisa. And speaking of Pisa, that is what our puzzle is for today. It is an evening in Pisa. Ravensburger 500-piece puzzle. And I'm really looking forward to doing this one because this one has appeared in Worlds quite a few times now. Before I get into the puzzle, I just want to go over our itinerary that I did. So after Florence and Pisa, we went to Marseille, which was our only stop in France. Very, very windy that day. I felt like I was going to get blown over. But it was actually kind of nice. We got to kind of do it on our own. We didn't exactly have an excursion planned. So that was kind of just something that we did for fun. And then our fifth stop, we went to Barcelona, which I got to see the Sagrada Familia, which is absolutely stunning. If you ever have a chance to go see it, I highly recommend it. I will definitely be putting pictures at the end of the video, so please stay tuned till the end for some of the pictures I took on my vacation here, including, you know, holding the Leaning Tower of Pisa, a few pictures of the Sagrada Familia, which is, again, the pictures will not do it justice. You have to go see it for yourself. We also went to the famous park in Barcelona, and so that was just quite stunning. And then we went to couple of the islands. Mallorca was the next stop after Barcelona, and we did a Cave of Hams tour, so I got to go see a cave, which I thought was very beautiful. I'm a big fan of caves. I really do like to go and look into them. And then they took us to one of their factories on the island where they actually do create pearls, which I didn't think you could create them without the clams, but you can actually create them, and that was quite interesting. I actually got a pair of earrings and necklace, and I really did like the actual holder that it was in. It was a beautiful red velvet clamshell, and I'll show you a picture of the earrings at the end of the video as well. I really wanted the clamshell holder more than anything else. The jewelry was nice, but the clamshell holder was really what I wanted. And then the next stop was Ibiza, which unfortunately I got a bit sick, and I was unable to go ashore on that one. My boyfriend went ahead for me and had sangria in my place, so I got one of those nasty colds running across the ship. So I'm better now. You can probably still hear it in my voice a little bit, but I'm glad I'm doing much better now. And our next stop was Cartagena, and it was actually a quaint town. I really enjoyed walking through it. We did a tapas tour where we kind of went to each little different restaurant and had some hot tapas. And then we actually went and visited a very old Roman theater, which I thought was really great. I'm a very big fan of all the ruins. And then our next stop was Motril, Spain here, which is where we're docked. And this was going to be my quiet day. We would have a sea day on this day. I could get to do my puzzle, kind of just relax on the ship. We had our morning massage, which I thought was really nice. And so, but we were supposed to be in Seville tomorrow, and unfortunately, there's apparently a strike going on in Lisbon's dock, so we actually have to be there early in order to avoid that strike. And so we will actually be having a sea day tomorrow, and we will not be stopping at Seville. So that actually kind of nicely slows down the vacation. We kind of get to relax a little bit for the last day or so, and I think it'll make it a nice breeze back into going home. We do have a day and a half in Portugal, so we'll be doing a couple things there. But I think that this vacation has been wonderful. It's my first time in Europe, and I've had a lot of fun. I definitely wanted to at least do one puzzle and record on the cruise for you, share some of my pictures. Now, real quick. Puzzle we're doing today is An Evening in Pisa, and this is a 500-piece Ravensburger puzzle, and you probably are very familiar with it because this is a puzzle that has appeared in the World Jigsaw Championship twice. It first appeared in Worlds in 2023, and then it actually appeared in 2025 Worlds this year in one of the qualifying rounds. So in 2023, this was in qualifying group D, and in 2025, it was in qualifying group C. And both times it was won by Alejandro. And funny enough, he was actually faster on his first attempt in 2023 than his second attempt in 2025. He might have done this puzzle faster in between that. He completed this puzzle in 33 minutes and 35 seconds in 2023, but he completed it in 33 minutes and 50 seconds in 2025. The fastest person to complete this puzzle in the qualifying rounds of this year was Victor, and he did this in 29 minutes and 12 seconds. So my goal for this puzzle, so I got a couple things going against me. One, I'm still kind of recovering from being a little sick. Two, the table I'm doing this on, as you can see, is very low. It's not even in shot here. And so I'm going to be bent over a little bit. So I think that's going to factor into my speed a little bit. And then the sun, as you can see, is kind of coming in on my right. I'm doing this in the afternoon. And so I think those couple factors are probably going to slow me down a little bit. But I do think I will get this under the hour. It's a Ravensburger 500-piece original cut, so I'm not too worried about the difficulty. The table I'm on is a white marble. There is a black. It's kind of cut in half. You'll see it on the camera, but I'm going to probably try to stick with the white space here, which is probably a good size for me to practice competition space management, so that's what I'll be doing with that. I realized I forgot my cat. She's not here. She's not going to be able to smash it, unfortunately, whether I do or not. So, my goals for this puzzle are going to be my two main goals: under an hour for my general goal, and under 52 minutes for my pieces per minute goal. I would like to see how I would do comparing to the other competitors, but I do think that, this puzzle is relative to the vacation. I went to the Leaning Tower of Pisa. Unfortunately, it's not as pretty as the puzzle makes it out to be. It definitely romanticizes it a little bit. The square is actually quite small. We did enjoy some gelato. I'll show you a picture of that as well. So there was a cute little restaurant nearby. Now, is this puzzle going to be difficult? A little bit. I think the trees will be a little hard, but I don't think they're that big of a section, so I'm not too worried. I think it's divided quite nicely. I think the Leaning Tower might be a little bit difficult, just because it's a repetitive pattern. But I don't think I'm going to be too worried about it. So, that being said, let's pretend this is the kitty, smash it. Well, that was The Evening in Pisa by Ravensburger 500-piece puzzle, and I did that in 56 minutes and 21 seconds. Not bad for a very low table. I will tell you that right now, that table was very difficult to do a puzzle in. Unfortunately, I did have to stop about 30 minutes in. My camera did overheat, but I managed to pause it, let it cool down, and restart. I do think I would have maybe gotten this under 50 minutes if it weren't for the table being so low. I was also getting pretty hot. I needed some water. When my camera overheated, I just got some water, and that helped cool me down a little bit. So, let me show you the puzzle. Good pickup test by Ravensburger, as always. It was very interesting doing a puzzle in front of a lot of people that weren't participating themselves. So I did get some, thumbs up afterwards. So it was kind of nice to see that some people were watching and just enjoying the show. So I'm kind of, happy that I got to do it on the cruise. I think that this was a very good puzzle to pick. It's a Ravensburger, so I'm very familiar with it. It was Pisa, which is one of our stops, and I really did have a good time. The puzzle itself, I think, was not too bad. I just think I was a bit disorganized at the beginning. It was very dark. Some of the colors were very dark and a little bit confusing at times. I thought the tower would be the most difficult, but it was actually the trees to the side, because they were kind of similar, and so I didn't want to, wait to them till the end, but that's where they ended up. The tower was actually relatively easy once I got most of the other pieces put together, but again, I do think that your environment does play a role in how fast you go. You get hot, you're kind of in a low-bearing table here. I do think that that will slow you down, or it does distract from things a little bit. And while I don't think the environment of people looking at me really bugged me, I had my headphones in, I was focused and just kind of in my zone. It definitely was hard for me. Gotta lose some weight. It was definitely a challenge. It was definitely, prepare for Worlds for sure. Speaking of Worlds, if I had been in the qualifying Group D, where this puzzle would have been this year, I would have been in 35th place, so I would have qualified in that round as well with this puzzle and with this time. I think I would have done better just for the fact the table would have been up higher, and I would have definitely been more in that competition zone. A little bit, I'm not in competition mode here. I thought it would help a little bit. It may have, but I had a lot of other factors going on. The camera, just trying to, maintain my speed as best I could. So, didn't quite make my 52-minute pieces per minute goal, but I did succeed in getting under the hour. So, real quick, I do want to go to future me, who will be showing all my puzzles that I got on this trip. So I'll go ahead and jump over to her real quick. Hey everyone, it's future Melinda here, and unfortunately I have returned from my European cruise. But I did bring some goodies back, and I do want to quickly share with you what I got from, I believe I got most of it from France, but I do think a lot of it just kind of compiled over the course of the trip. So I'm looking forward to kind of sharing these with you. So I'll kind of go one by one where I got it from and how I think I might do when I actually do speedrun them. So first up, my first stop was Rome, so I actually went to the Vatican City, and I went to their gift shop, and this was the first puzzle I got. So it's not actually has a name to it, I don't think, but basically it is the Sistine Chapel section of the creation of Adam. And so it's not very colorful, it's kind of bland colors, so it's going to be a rather difficult puzzle to speed. And it is a 540-piece puzzle, so again, kind of a unique puzzle count. But I did open it because I did try to stack these puzzles. I had to fly back, and I wanted to make sure everything fit. It doesn't look too difficult, but we'll kind of see how it goes. I don't know when I plan to do this one, but that was the first puzzle of the trip that I picked up. I definitely look forward to doing kind of an actual ancient art version of a puzzle. So, looking forward to that. And then a couple trips in the line, I didn't pick up some puzzles. And then I ended up in Marseille. And Marseille was actually kind of we were on our own. We didn't exactly have an excursion that we signed up for. We actually stopped by 2 stores, and the second one was a game store. But the first one was kind of an arts and crafts and office kind of shop, and it was very small, but they did have some pretty puzzles, and I really debated about picking one up because they were all 1,000-piece. I think there was one 300 or so, and I'm trying to stick with the 500s as much as I can because they're a lot easier for me to do speed puzzling for versus 1,000, but I really did want this puzzle because it's a mermaid. As you can see here, it's a 1,000-piece puzzle, and the brand is called Paper Blanks, and it is called Anticipation, Wonder, and Imagination, and the artist is Victor Nizotazvigs. I'm not pronouncing that correctly at all, I can assure you, but it is a very pretty puzzle. The back of it here, as you can probably see, there'll be kind of a mermaid theme going on. I am a big fan of mermaids, so I like to collect mermaid puzzles as I go. So I figured this would be a very pretty puzzle. Also a very difficult one. I did pull the pieces out, again, to package them up. And I saw how dark they were, so this again would be a very difficult one to do speed-wise. So I may actually do this one a bit more, not timed, just kind of a bit more relaxing. So that was the only puzzle I picked up from that little shop. Then we went to the game store, and I got 2 puzzles from them. One, you might recognize this one. This one is Rainbow Fish by Nathan, and this puzzle was done on Karen Puzzles' video channel, and she did this one with Victor as a pair partner in a competition in France where they actually did it at like 1 a.m. in the morning during that whole 24-hour marathon. And when I saw it, I'm like, oh, I have to grab that one, because if you don't know who Victor is, he actually got 2nd place in this prior year's Worlds. And Karen Puzzles, if you know her, she's also rather quick. And combined, these two did this in 49 minutes, which does tell you it is a very difficult puzzle. I will be doing this one as a speed puzzle because I do want to compare my time to theirs. More than likely, it's going to take me well over an hour to get this one done. This was the first puzzle from the game shop, and this was the second one. I wasn't planning on picking up a Ravensburger because the box is rather big, and again, I had to fly home. But I really looked at this, I saw this puzzle, and I'm like, I really want to see, maybe if this is available in the US, I'll pick it up here. It is not. It's actually part of the JoJo collection, which is Jonas Jodicki. Again, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. And they're only exclusively done in the European catalog. So this is not available in the United States. So after looking that up and finding out I couldn't get this in the US, I quickly grabbed it because, once again, it's mermaids with an underwater dragon. And this one's called the Enchanted Depths, Dragons, Mermaids, and Turtles. And it will be a difficult one because it's mostly blue. And so it's going to be rather hard one to do. I think, again, this might be a better casual puzzle for me versus doing it by time. I mean, when I say casual, I'm still going to do it fast, but I won't put a timer on myself, basically. And then I did get up a little mini puzzle here, and this one was picked up on the Cabo da Roca Sintra, which is the edge of the world, or aka the eastern part of Europe, most eastern part, where you kind of stood and took pictures. And so I thought, at that point in the trip, I had basically just run out of room, so I picked up a little one that I could just put in my pocket and be easy to carry. So I have a couple mini puzzles, which I always tend to do, but they're very difficult to do speed puzzling in because the pieces are very small. But it's basically kind of a picture of all the locations in Portugal. So that was done in Marseille, so now I've gone to Portugal. And then this was in Sintra, and then I picked this one up in Lisbon. It's a Clementani Wildcats. I didn't know if this was available in the US, but we went to the zoo in Lisbon, and we went to the gift shop, and I basically like, yeah, that one's a small enough box, I could probably stick it in. There'll be enough room, which there was. So probably another challenging puzzle. Probably do a speed puzzle on this one. See how I do with fur practice. So those were all the puzzles I picked up in Europe. Now, before I go back past me, back on the cruise ship, there was an actual puzzle I did on the cruise after I had filmed this video. Basically, it was kind of a community puzzle where I think someone was bringing a few puzzles and they kind of let the whole ship, whoever wanted to do it, just go ahead and start working on it. The puzzle that was put out was another 1,000 piece, very long panoramic puzzle, and I'll show a picture of it here for y'all. It was really for everybody just to kind of get it done, and they had about halfway done. They got the border done. They were kind of working on sections, and I kind of forget when I'm in the speed puzzling aspect of it that most people do puzzles for a relaxing, slow, just kind of winding down and doing it for a calm reset, basically. So I kind of squeezed my way in. There was a whole bunch of people going. I think it was like 15 people around the table. I just sort of squeezed my way in and just started working on it. And about 5 or 6 pieces in a row when I had put in, they kind of noticed how quickly I was doing it. And so I think a few people decided to give me a bit of a wider berth. And I basically, with about 2 or 3 other people, finished the puzzle with everybody. And so that was a lot of fun. So I will give it back to past me on the cruise, which I wish I was still on, but unfortunately all things come to an end.
Take it away.
Thanks, future me. I hope all the puzzles I got were really great, and I look forward to doing all of them very soon. So again, my cat's not here. I should have brought her, but it is what it is. So we smashed it. Thanks so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I will see y'all next time. Bye-bye.